Taking a few seconds, guys. Oh, it says live on YouTube. I don't think I need this. Nope. Share sound. You could not even watch the
Control over Indigenous rights and culture. The Act includes only...
Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, good. So let's watch this video for
First Nations
5 minutes, and then you can continue working on that.
For more than 200 years, religious orders run mission schools for Indigenous children, the precursors to the Government of Canada's residential school system. The Mohawk Institute becomes a boarding school. Run by the Anglican Church, it is the first government-funded residential school in Canada. A government report recommends Indigenous children be separated from their parents in order to assimilate them into Western culture. These recommendations influence federal laws and policies designed to strip Indigenous people of their culture and rights. Isle Lacrosse opens in northern Saskatchewan. The majority of students are Métis. The government takes authority over Indigenous people and education for First Nations. The Indian Act gives the Canadian government control over Indigenous rights and culture. The Act includes only First Nations as status Indians. It excludes Métis and Inuit. Prime Minister John A. Macdonald authorizes the creation of the residential school system, which is designed to isolate Indigenous children from their families and cut all ties to their cultures. The number of schools across Canada quickly climbs to over 40. The Government of Canada requires First Nations children aged 7 to 16 to attend residential school. Dr. Peter Henderson Bryce exposes the government's neglect of Indigenous children's health, including alarmingly high death rates of residential school students. More than 80 institutions are in operation across Canada, the most at any one time. 4 students are investigated for arson. Others reportedly cheer as they watch the school burn. This is one of dozens of fires set by students across Canada as a form of resistance. Inuit children are officially included in the residential school system. 6 schools open in the Western Arctic as the government takes over the administration of many church-run residential schools. Grolier Hall and Stringer Hall open in Inuvik, housing 500 students. More than 20,000 Indigenous children are taken from their families by government social workers and placed in foster care or adoption homes, often with non-Indigenous families. Adoptees lose connection with their Indigenous language, culture, and identity. 12-year-old Chani Wenjak dies after escaping from the Cecilia Jeffrey Residential School. A formal investigation follows. The all-white jury finds that residential schools cause tremendous emotional and psychological problems. The Canadian government takes over responsibility for the remaining schools from the churches. Thousands of Indigenous students are enrolled at the 28 residential schools that are still running in Canada. Phil Fontaine, head of the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs, speaks publicly of the abuse he suffered at Fort Alexander Indian Residential School. He calls for a public inquiry, which the federal government initiates in 1991. Gordon's residential school is the last federally run school to close. The report recommends a public inquiry into the effects of residential schools, including language loss and trauma. The government provides compensation to survivors, including the Common Experience Payment and a focus on funding and supporting Indigenous health and healing services. The agreement establishes funds for the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, or the TRC. Prime Minister Stephen Harper apologizes to former students, their families, and communities for Canada's role in the operation of residential schools. Provincial and territorial apologies follow in the years ahead. After hosting events across Canada, the TRC releases a summary of its findings. It includes 94 calls to action aimed at redressing the legacy of residential schools and assisting in the process of Canadian reconciliation. The News Centre holds a permanent archive of materials and testimonies on residential schools gathered during the TRC. The TRC characterizes Canada's treatment of Indigenous people as cultural genocide. Thousands of children died due to Canada's residential school system. More than 80,000 survivors and their families still live with its legacy.
Many people have said over the years, why can't you just get over it and move on? And my answer has always been, why can't you always remember this? And until people show that they have learned from this, we will never forget.
Okay, guys. I'm sure you know a lot of things which were actually untold in this video, but yes, if you are interested to learn more on what happened in residential schools and some histories from survivors of residential schools, you could go to YouTube and do some research on that. You can watch other videos related to that. Okay, guys? Are you still there?
Yes.
It's truly sad story. Truly.
It is sad, and it is a very dark part of the Canadian history, the way how, you know, the Indigenous Aboriginal people were treated in general, and how their kids were actually taken away from the families, and they were stripped of their, you know, whatever they had in terms of culture, in terms of tradition, the way of living, the language, religion, all that style of life, which was completely different from.
And it's shocking that the Canadian government admitted so late. I think it was too late for admit their mistake. I think so.
It was late, but never too late.
I think, in my opinion, in my country, they actually got all the Indigenous people to one spot to do an arrangement for them, but they actually killed all of them. And the survivors, they just mean to forget about it. So
which country you're talking about?
Uruguay.
Uruguay.
So to me, that the government did this is really important for the people that suffer, right? To have a recognition.
At least recognition and saying sorry, and it's something. It's better than nothing.
Yes, sure. It's first step.
Yeah, it's you cannot bring to life those who are dead, but at least when you recognize that you did something bad, right, and you remember that, and you somehow make a compensation for that and an excuse, it's actually it's a hope for a change. Give the people who survived and those the next generation some hope that things will not be repeated again.
Yeah, because my kids they learning this stuff and they say, wow, that's not right. So they don't see indigenous people like they used to see it before, like something different, something to put apart. They see it like this is normal. We the same.
Yeah, but what I mean, even in Canada, many in the wars there were many indigenous people that were killed, like British, French. You know, when it's a war, a conflict and stuff. And it was a war between the kind of occupiers, because the Europeans were occupiers when they occupied their land, when they came to Canada first, right? And there was a war and conflict and all the time, but the government of Canada was supposed to represent the whole people of Canada, including Aboriginals, right? And the government is supposed then to defend them, to support their rights, right? But it didn't happen for some time, and that's bad. But at least, I mean, you cannot change what happened in the past, but at least make sure that these things won't happen. And at least the people now would say sorry to what happened, and then make sure that these people will have equal rights, that every Canadian citizen, right? And we were saying about Uruguay. What happened, if I was understanding you properly, that who did kill the Aboriginals in Uruguay?
The Spanish.
The Spanish. You mean they killed all of them?
Yeah, there weren't many, but yeah, they got it into one place all together, and they just shot all of them.
But
in Uruguay, you won't see any Aborigines. There is none.
There is no survivors. There are no
survivors. The other time I see in the news that it was one, that it was the grandson of one of them, but all of them, they mostly went to Peru and other places.
Oh, they fled away. They fled away from.
Once in Uruguay, they killed them all.
Wow, that's bad. And they were the ones who actually are the ones who lived first in that land, right? Isn't that so? The Aboriginals were the ones who lived first in the land.
Yeah.
Like Canada, right?
Yeah. I guess they didn't adapt. They were like nomads. They steal the cows, and they kill one cow to eat only a piece. So they didn't like that. So they just kill them.
They were considered like wild people, I believe, and not civilized, and something like that, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what has happened all over the world. More civilized people, instead of being civilized and accepting the others the way they are, they kill them. And that's not civilization, right? That's a criminality. That's
it is. They in some cases they didn't care about having to kill children, and in other cases they brainwash children, and that's the best way to get rid of a culture. I read it from some book, and they were saying that's one of the things dictators they targeted through history, or those ignorant people in their past history, was to brainwash kids, and that was the most successful of getting rid of certain cultures or certain ethnicities in the past. And it's
yeah, you're true. You're right. That's true what you're saying. And in this case, I'm talking about Canada and Aboriginals and the residential schools. I mean, that was a policy which was made legal by the government to get rid of, not of the people, but get rid of their culture and somehow brainwash them in terms of forgetting their past, forgetting their tradition, and let them just embrace the British culture, language, tradition, religion, and everything.
Instead of a camp, they just called it a school. So that's
the
politically correct term.
They were taught a lot of things, but they were not supposed to, because learning English and learning history and geography, that's great, but somehow not allowing them to kind of use their own language and have their own religion, and being able to visit their family and parents coming and seeing them anytime they want. They're not allowed to see them often. And dying and not telling the family what happened, and not knowing where the kids were put in the grave, and imposing culture. They had to have variety. You choose, like you go in a supermarket and you choose, you have everything there, you choose what you want. Let them build a school and give them the option to learn English, of course, because English is the language, but also let them learn and not forget their language and their history and their culture and the way of living. You understand? It's nothing wrong learning history and geography and English, but the wrong thing is that you impose and you brainwash them by allowing them to know their history of their families, of their generations before, and their religion and way of living and style. I'm gonna post. I think I posted actually, and you guys can watch whenever if you want to. There is an interesting video here. Do you see it? CBC News on Aboriginal education. I'm just turning it on. Probably you can. No. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
This is a great documentary.
Good evening and welcome to 16 by 9. One of the largest inquests in Ontario history is underway, examining why some students have to go to great lengths just to get an education. The inquest is investigating the case of 7 students who died after being forced to move far away from home because there was no high school nearby. It's a reality for many families in First Nations communities who are left with a troubling choice: send their kids away to school or keep them at home without an education. Here's Vashi Kapelos.
I will let it on you if you want to watch it. I posted just for you guys. But yeah, here are stories that you can on YouTube. You can watch stories. The boy who should have lived. It says here, why are Indigenous women missing in Canada? First Nation families weigh children's education versus safety. So that means, do you want their education or their safety? Because safety is in discussion. Could a new approach to First Nation housing be whatever? Stolen children, residential schools. She's talking about her probably personal story. You can watch it if you want. It's an interesting one. These are great.
I got frightened when I was a little girl, when the principal used to beat up the other children, like boys. The boys got the most beating. They used to call it bench party. and it was usually done after supper. And that's where I got frightened, because I saw blood.
I remember when we had to shower. You only have to show me how to shower and clean and wash myself, how to wash my private and my, private parts of your body. You don't have to show a kid once or twice at the most, but not every day. And have the supervisor come in there and basically take advantage of you.
I just remember arriving there and donning new clothes and, of course, getting a haircut and sitting in a classroom and being with other girls and witnessing my brother get punched by the supervisor.
My name is Alice Little Deer. I'm 78 years old. I spent about 8 years in residential school.
Okay, guys, so I'm not gonna show you these videos, but I'm sure that you will be interested to watch them sometime later, maybe in the weekend. Okay?
I think sometimes we should reconsider and think again about so-called heroes in whole history. Some people like, I don't know, Christopher Columbus, it is hero of European hero, right?
Yeah, of course, the history has to be revised somehow, right? Because what was right 5 centuries ago or 2 centuries ago is not right now, based on what the people now think and believe, what's right and what's wrong, right?
Yeah, history is about about human being and what happened in the past.
Yeah, I
The
mean,
problem is it's result-oriented things, everything's.
I believe that the history has to be kind of revised by the historians, who are really people who know what history is and what history means, so that and it's good to know what happened at that time, so that now you can kind of consider it and judge on it and think, what was it right or wrong? Because if you say, let's say 100 years ago and now, 100 years ago, what the government and the policy was at that time was considered as something right. But now when you look at it from today's point of view, you see that they were wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They say history is written by the winners, so there's a lot of bias in the history.
Yeah, it's true. It's true, and but the strongest, right? And then it was influenced. Historians were probably politically influenced, because the strength, and they they wrote it the way they were told to somehow.
One of the books I studied was Herodotus. He's a big philosopher. I don't know if you heard of him or not.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, they're one of the most famous ancient Greek philosophers. And amount of things that he had from Persian Empire and the back in the day, it's interesting. It's interesting to just read and then just find the new foundings that they did excavations, and you compare it what originally was based on the evidence and what was written and known as a fact up to this day, until somehow history reveals itself. Same thing with indigenous people. They were hidden in history, they weren't mentioned, and out of a sudden now, after so many years, it comes out. So truth always comes out.
Oh yeah, somehow even in and a lot of truth is under the ground, right? It's covered. It's covered by history. It's covered on purpose by those who had the power.
It is true,
and it's covered by by nature somehow. So there are many things that we really don't know because this world is so old, and many generations have lived on it, and these generations in the past, they were civilized to some extent. When you see some, kind of masterpieces like the pyramids and other, things that were built centuries ago, and they were built in such a way that it's hard to explain nowadays. How did they do that? It's very interesting. So, and there are many things that are covered underground and we don't know, and they are actually somehow they are history. Even though we don't know them, they exist somewhere, and in the future, many things will come out and be discovered, and they will somehow make changes in the history and what we know about history. Because there are many things, I'm afraid there are many things that we don't know too. And if we know them, then the perception of history will somehow change.
That is true.
Okay, guys. So I mean, there's a lot to see and to learn, and nowadays because of internet, there's so much. The only issue is the time, and it's you if you want to, but there are many opportunities nowadays to learn things. Just click on Google and just do some research, and you find so many things that you don't know and I don't know. Okay, guys, so keep going then. We'll probably take do you want to take a break of 8 minutes, let's say 10 to 20, 10 to 23, 10 minutes.
Okay.
Go for whatever, make a coffee or tea, and then come back at 10:23, and we'll continue with the assignment. I'm here with you. If you have questions, talk to me. Otherwise, keep working on that. All right.
Listen up. So you shower with? You probably have what you want. Everyone's listening to video on when you're ready to read you up so that you're wanting to know how to do the insects. Then I'm going to ask a question. This picture. Paraphrase, summarize. What's the difference? For elementary students, when doing research, there are three main ways of using information: quoting, paraphrasing, or summarizing. The first step is to take notes of sources found. Have all your notes, decide how to use that information. Here's an example that we took from the Red Pathway document about Sarah, a Triceratops that lived in Saskatchewan. Again, let's look at quoting. A quote is when you put someone else's back words in your work. When you do this, you have to use marks and you have to say what and who you're quoting from. For example, if we quoted Triceratops are quadrupeds, walk on four legs, and herbivores, plant eaters. From this document, it would look like this. Because we're taking someone else's exact words, we have to state where we got the words from. This is called citing. For example, here we would add in parentheses all steps that have to be in. If we don't do this, then we are plagiarizing. Plagiarism is like stealing. It's like taking something that doesn't belong to you and pretending that it's yours. Another way is paraphrasing. Paraphrase means to take the ideas of other people and rewrite them in your own words. So let's take a look at our document again. It says, Triceratops were quadrupeds. They walk on four legs, and herbivores, plant eaters. This could be paraphrased as, Triceratops had four legs and ate plants. Because we are still taking someone else's ideas, we have to cite where we got them from. Here again, we would add in parentheses, Bruno Paul Stenson, Museum. We don't do this, we are plagiarizing. Lastly, let's look at summarizing. To summarize means that you will write the same information you found, but using less words and taking out the parts that do not answer your research question. An easy way to create a summary is to write it in the notes you took from your sources. This helps make sure that your summary is written in your own words instead of using the author's words. For example, here are the notes we took from our source. Sarah is a Triceratops dinosaur. Triceratops lived in Saskatchewan and Alberta. They 65 million years ago in the Cretaceous era. Triceratops grew to be 9 meters long, 3 meters high. They weighed 6 to 12 tons. Triceratops walked on four legs. They ate plants. To summarize, you can simply write, Triceratops were a type of dinosaur that walked on four legs and ate plants. It weighed 6 to 12 tons and was found in Alberta and Saskatchewan. We're still using someone else's ideas. We still have to cite where we got the ideas from. So we should add parentheses to Bruno Paul Stenson Red Pathway Museum. Again, guess what? If we don't, we are plagiarizing. Finally, when doing research, you should always have many sources of information. This will help you find the best information to answer your questions. Also, remember that it doesn't matter how you're using someone else's ideas. You have to cite where and who the idea is from every time. To learn more about taking notes, please watch Taking Notes for Research in Elementary School. So we summarize all the time we do. You may summarize something interesting that you read in the news, or you may summarize a plot line for a friend or a lesson for a classmate who becomes sick and missed the class. And at some point in your academic career, you will have to write a summary, which is something that a lot of students find difficult. So I thought I would give you some tips on how to write a summary. All right, now it's important to remember that a summary needs to be clear to someone who's not read, seen, or heard the original material. Now you have to include all of the essential information that a person would need to understand without reading the original source. So you have to include all of the main points. Now that's pretty much what a summary is. It's important also to remember that you shouldn't go beyond the main points. It's important that a summary be as brief as possible, so you don't want to get too specific with details like numbers, statistics, dates, figures, that kind of thing, unless it's absolutely necessary for the reader to understand it. Remember that a summary needs to be concise, brief. You don't want to be too descriptive. All right, so a good summary should follow and maintain good paragraph structure, topic sentence and supporting sentences and a concluding sentence. Now, it's important for the topic sentence of a summary to identify itself as a summary. So you should include the title or the author or the speaker of the original material in your topic sentence. And then the supporting sentences are the main points. And it's important to try to follow the same order that the information is presented in the original material. Again, if possible. There are times, perhaps, if you're summarizing a story, where the original story is not in chronological order, and it may make it easier for the reader to understand that if you change the order. But in general, you want to keep the same order. Now, also, in a summary, you should paraphrase. You should not be using direct quotes from the original material. And you should not be copying and pasting sentences right from the original. You should be using your own words. And last, it's important for a good summary to be objective, meaning you should not include your opinion in a summary. Remember that you're just reporting information from someone else's piece of writing or a lecture. So if you follow these tips, you'll be that much more likely to do summary. So if you want to practice summary, follow the link at the end of this video. Good day, and welcome to the Tobago House of Assembly Division of Education, Innovation and E-Learning program. Today, we're going to be looking at CSEC summary writing for English A, and I am Kimberly Richardson Thomas, your presenter. Our objectives for today, as we look at summary writing, that at the end of this session, students will be able to identify main ideas of a given text, believe examples and data in a given text, recognize repetition in a given text, organize content logically and concisely, and summarize original text using identified main points. So let's take a look at some information. What is a summary? Essentially, a summary is a shortened or condensed version of an original text or passage. It aims to share the main idea by eliminating irrelevant details. The tone of the original piece must be maintained by avoiding opinion, and reported speech and present tense are used. When you're writing your summary, essentially, you want to be able to filter out information from your general passage so that you are able to eliminate your examples, supporting details, lists, main ideas, comparisons. You filter all of these from the extended passage through the process of your summary writing so that you're left with your relevant details and your main idea. There are 6 steps for summary writing that you want to pay attention to that should guide you in how you go about writing your summary. When you're writing your summary, you want to be able to find the main idea. And for CSEC purposes, you're normally asked to identify 5 main points. And you're going to see how to extract them. Secondly, find the supporting details. Then you want to write summary sentences. Number 4, combine the main idea with the summary sentences. 5, the reread and edit. And 6, check the final draft. Now, even when we look at 6 steps, this is when you get into the actual process of writing your summary. But always remember, the very first thing that you do is to read your instructions, because that is going to tell you how long your summary ought to be and what it is you're being asked to summarize. Because sometimes the information to be summarized can only be found in the last 2 paragraphs of a 5-paragraph passage. So our first step, really, find the main idea. You want to read the passage the first time for understanding. And even as you're reading, pay attention to your suggested time limit. For summary, there's a suggested time of about 14 minutes, and you really want to stay within your time frame. So you read the passage for the first time for understanding. During this time that we are doing more about teaching online, I want to encourage you to really spend some time reading. So as you do this, it can help you to build your vocabulary and enhance your understanding of information that you're reading. So you read the first time for understanding. Ask yourself, what was the passage about? Now, if you're having problems trying to identify what the passage is about, can the passage contain which topic or which word appears most often? This is likely the topic of the passage. After you've been able to identify who or what is being spoken of the most, then you want to be able to figure out what is being said about that topic. You read the passage a second time because you want to get your main idea. What is the overall point being made about it? You need to be able to see the picture being presented by that passage. What is the figure? What is the passage about? What can you identify as being that group or that person or thing that is prevalent from the topic? And then what is the big picture being presented about it in the passage? This is the main idea of the whole passage. And you need to write it down. If you want to be some notes, and you have a note section in your Excel, you identify that main idea, what is being said about that topic. Avoid irrelevant information. These are usually elaborating details which support the main idea. If you come across this analogy, this acronym, something I want to share, and it says more feds. More feds is one way to help you identify what are those elaborating details that can be found throughout your passage that you're going to want.
Okay, guys, so I'm just stopping sharing. Salman, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
I didn't receive the answers for the graphic text. You sent something which is not.
Yeah, teacher. But I will send it.
But yeah, you have to send it as soon as
Yeah.
possible. Send it now. Did you
Okay.
read my
Okay.
message?
Yeah. Okay. I will send again. Okay.
All right. All right. Ali, yeah. Arius. Yes. Asma. Asma, I received your answers, but they are not very good. Kalai?
Yes.
Are you there?
Yes.
I haven't received any of the two tests that we had, at least.
Two tests, you know, the connection is not working. I tried to connect on Zoom. I didn't communicate with you for two days.
You could write me an email. You know, you could communicate like that. So whenever you have internet, write me an email about the concerns, because this the first test on reading informational text was let's say 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I did two tests, you know.
You did?
Yeah, I did two tests.
I haven't received any from you, so I'll check. Let me check with the others, and then after attendance, stay behind. I'll check with you.
Okay.
Okay, Kalai?
Okay.
All right. So probably I'll call the attendance right now, and then I'll talk to you, Kalai. Any question or any concern? Shima is not in, right?
Yes, I'm here. So hi.
Hi, Shima. I didn't receive the graphic text answers for the test.
Yeah, just I missed graphic test, but actually I catch a cold. I'm not feeling well. That's
You're
why.
not feeling well.
Yeah, that's why I try. If I can do it until end of today.
Can you do it today?
I hope so. Sorry.
I mean, after 5 minutes?
No, today. No, until end of today.
Oh, not now.
No, just a minute. Just a second. Which you said
about Canada's forest, the graphic text.
Oh yeah, I missed that one. Yeah, exactly. Okay, I will do.
Now?
Yes, I will do it. Yeah.
Okay, just after the attendance, stay behind and I'll talk to you.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much, Sam. Sorry.
Denisha, is Denisha in? No? Dina? Yes, Dina, I see you're in. Can you talk to me? Hi, Dina. No? She cannot hear me or what? Write on chat if you have a problem with microphone. Oh, Dina, my mic is not working. So can you hear me? Yes, I believe. So you're missing the graphic text. So stay behind after attendance, and then I'll talk to you. Is that okay? All right. So let me call the attendance, and I'll talk to those who missed the test. Denisha is not in today, I believe. It looks like she's not in. Josephine is okay. Oh, I don't see Denisha here. Nope. Okay, let me call the attendance and then we'll talk. So share the screen. No, I don't share the screen right now. I just call the attendance. So, yes. Limia, Gurbet, Salman Ali, yes. Sitora, Alexia, Holly, Jason, Romina, yes. Nikid, can you hear me, guys?
Of course.
Yes.
Okay, Nikid not in. Jenny, she left. Ali, yes. Victor,
Yes.
Asma, Mohammed. Say it hard, loud. Yes.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, good. Shima,
Yes.
Denisha, Josephine. Yes. I saw her name. Hi, Dawn. Kong Tan. David. Yes. Dina. Dina was here. But her microphone doesn't work. Juliana. Kala, yes. Silly, yes. Nima.
Yes, yes, Simi is here.
Denise.
Simi is present.
Silly, yeah, I know.
Yeah,
You're always
okay.
present, I know. Okay, did I miss anyone? Okay, guys, I'm going to talk to a few of students who missed the test while you guys, the rest of the students, just enjoy the weekend, keep finishing, keep working on the assignments to finish for Monday, because on Monday we'll meet in the morning and we'll start a new assignment. All right? As I told you, you have to work on the assignment because on Friday we have the midterm. So you are supposed to have finished 2 journals and 2 tests and 2 assignments. Okay?
Have a good
weekend and see you Monday morning, 8:25.
All right, have a good weekend.
Day 2.
Enjoy your weekend.
You too, thanks. Now, I'm talking to, who am I talking to? I'm talking to Salman, right?
Yes, sir.
Salman, and who else? Dina, yes. And not
I'm
Joe.
here to Sam. I did. I will send for you.
Which one?
Shima.
Okay. And Kalai.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Kalai. So did you do the graphic text test?
Is a graphic text? Yeah, I submitted.
You submitted. Let me check. I haven't seen that. So assignments.
I sent today, teacher, okay?
Was that?
I sent today.
You sent, who's talking?
Yeah, other guy,
Salman.
not me. Wait, bro.
Salman.
Wait. I'm talking with them. Wait, don't confuse.
So
okay, no worries.
one at a
Sorry.
time, one at a time, guys. But don't get angry. Okay. So
okay.
Okay, so you said you send it. Let me go there. Okay, so unit 1, reading graphic text. So Salman, I didn't receive anything from you.
How about me? Kalai.
Salman, no, the same thing. So what about you? Who is me?
Kalai.
Kalai, let me check. Okay, so no.
Could you check Shima?
Shima, last name?
Mohammadi.
Shima. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
About me, Yusuf, I'm waiting you. You didn't answer me.
You are waiting for me. Who is it?
Kalai.
I told you, Kalai, I told you I haven't received anything. You're waiting for me. I've been waiting for you for a week.
Yeah, already I submitted.
Where? I don't see it. Let me check again. Maybe I'll refresh.
Assignment. Maybe, you know, it's a lot of space, you know, it completes the title.
Let me refresh the computer.
I'm sure I submitted.
I don't see it.
Bye.
I don't see it.
It's paragraph, yeah? It's paragraph, yeah?
No, not the part. You're not listening, my friend. Is the graphic text.
It's choosing?
Let
I
me
don't know
share.
what that. Yeah, choosing. Okay, the choosing I didn't submit, yeah. I'm thinking that one.
No, you know the graphic text, which is Canada's forest. Remember that?
Okay, I didn't submit that one, yeah.
You didn't submit. Can you do it right now?
Okay, I'll do it. Okay.
Okay, so I'll wait for you for.
How about the other?
Nothing, but at least do it. Do this one right now, and then you can do it the other one on Monday, maybe. Okay.
Okay.
So do at least one now,
okay.
and I'm here with you, right? Okay. So you know where to go?
Already, I downloaded on my computer now.
Oh, you're using phone, right?
No, I on laptop.
Oh, laptop. Very good. So you have the. You know where the assignment is? Canada Forest graphic text.
Yeah.
Which is Unit 1, Activity 3. Test number 2.
Okay, Canada Forest. Canada,
Forest.
the world leading exporter. Yeah.
Yeah, Canada Forest.
Okay, already I got it. Okay.
Okay, so read it, and you have the questions below. I'll give you 20 minutes to do that.
Okay.
Anybody else? Denisha is not in. Alexa is not in. Sitora is not in. Salman, are you working on it? I'm coming in a minute.